Hey everybody! So I'm back for another episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Um, I'm just getting back. I had a good weekend away. um, so yeah. So this review, this episode wasn't really about much, and so it's a lot of lead up. But anyway, it starts out with Melody, Tiffany, and Stormy. Y'all already know how I feel about Stormy and Tiffany, but whatever. They're having a photo shoot for her canvas products, whatever. So they meet at the canvas shoot, and it seems like Melody is surprised that Tiffany is there, and she may have been. And granted, sometimes people are surprised that they're not expecting because Stormy and Tiffany, maybe she wasn't aware how close they were as friends. But it honestly looked like Melody wasn't really here for that collaboration. Something about it. And I think Tiffany noticed that Melody wasn't here for her just being there with Stormy, or her and Mel had words. Something just seemed off between them. And I think the reason why I said I think Tiffany noticed because she just kept kissing Mel's ass throughout the rest of the scene. Like whenever like Stormy asked the same question the guys asked, do you think that's gonna be confusing for the kids now that y'all are going to Destin together? And Tiffany, pokes in and she goes, no, I don't think that is. I think that's good for the kids. This that, and the other. No, her kids are smart. Everything Melody said. She was basically parroting the whole thing, and I was like, "Ooh, Tiffany, you holding on to this show by a thread, and ain't nobody really checking for you like that. So, girl, you might want to go back and reapply at the Chamber of Commerce." Anyway, next. So Destiny and Demi. So Destiny and her cousin Demi have a partnership between Madani and Demure. Okay, one's makeup and one is hair. Okay, now Destiny, I'm somebody who gives credit where credit is due. I try to call out shit as shit when I see it. Like people fucking up your party, that was fucked up. But now, Destiny, you are back in a position where you were originally in terms of what I thought about you. But put that on pause. I'm gonna need Demure, Demi, and Destiny. If you gonna be selling hair, I'm gonna need you not to have your cousin on here with the worst kind of fucking wig style, wig color. And this isn't the first time we've seen her with a bad wig. Everybody gonna have a bad hair day once in a while on TV or not. Okay, but it's just that I can tell where the lace front ends. I don't think the color goes well with her complexion. It looks like she's wearing concealer, not just where things need to be concealed, like in terms of the bags. It looks like she's using concealer for also like her eyeshadow, but concealer is not eyeshadow. And then it seems like she's going around her whole face. And granted, if you have skin problems, I suggest, even if you have something like eczema, Cetaphil, or going to see a dermatologist would be a good idea, because whoever, I won't say whoever, because I think you're doing your makeup, since you have a makeup line, you are not a good salesman for yourself. Okay, or saleswoman for yourself. You're not. And I'm going to need you to do better. And Destiny, considering the way your hair looks most of the time, whether I care for the style or not, it doesn't look sloppy and messy. I'm gonna need you to do your cousin some favors. Thank you and good night. Okay, next. So they're talking about her cousin says she wants to keep it 90s in terms of the makeup and they have a makeup party. Okay, 90s makeup. Let's see. It's given living single. It's given different world. It's given even sister. Um, they were beat without looking beat. Those were beautiful black women on TV week after week, and it looked good. It's given Destiny's Child toward the ends of the 90s, SWV. So I'm trying to figure out where Demi is getting her inspiration for how her makeup looks. And I'm not even calling this woman ugly. I'm talking about really how her makeup looks. I'm just not here for it. Anyway, they talk about the peace party for the 369th time this season. Everybody is breathing. Anyway, Demi agreed that sometimes she agreed with Mel. She was like, sometimes people just need to leave each other alone. Yes. Yes. End of story. And was it me or did Destiny try to play down the fact it wasn't simply that her cousin was like, well, you seem really hurt by it. And she was like, no, I'm not. I'm actually good. I mean, we know Destiny bullshits in terms of her feelings, but it seemed like to me Destiny tried to play down the fact that she invited Mel to her photo shoot. Bitch, you invited her there. That's the only reason why she showed up there. And she even talked about her seeing how shocked she was, especially since the issue was that she showed up at your other event uninvited and didn't speak. That's the way I describe it, didn't speak. But she kept trying to play it down. Well, yeah, I guess she came to support or whatever. Bitch, you invited her. Cut the bullshit. And you invited her because you still want to be friends with her. Like, I just need people to grow up. And Destiny, that guard is just gonna have to come down, or you just need to get off the show. Cause it's I'm not talking about like we we don't know much about you, and then what we do know is that you're just constantly guarded. And that's kind of like not even entertaining for us. Anyway, so Mel's packing with her kids, and that was a cute scene. Her mom is gonna go with them to vacation in Destin. She's gonna meet up with them. Martell and his mother are going, and so her mother is asking how she feels about it, and Mel is just basically trying to, I guess, do the best she can in terms of keeping her family together. She said she had already spoken to Marlene, and we saw that play out. I don't know whether season 4 or season 5 recently. About her implying that she was lazy on television, that kind of thing. I just thought seeing the kids jump around on the bed because they're excited was really cute. Because I grew up in a big family and it was 5 of us. We were all like 2 years apart, like we were close in age like them. And I remember us getting really excited. And I just thought it was a nice, cute little scene. Then we get Kimmy and Maurice, which is, this is hard for me, and I feel for them because I know these things. I know that scary feeling and everything, and Kimmy, we praying for you. So she had 16 weeks of chemotherapy over the course of 20 weeks, and I remember it was like that. My mother would be exhausted afterward. Then she had surgery and recuperation. She doesn't have cancer anywhere else in her body, thank God. She doesn't have a genetic predisposition. My mother was the first one who had it though too, with us, and it might be a little bit difficult to tell how it's going to go down the line because Kimmy has a son, and that's not common with men. Their family came. They meet them at the house. Kimmy's father's there. Her mother's there. She basically had her mother come to Huntsville so she could take care of her. And she kind of, you could tell, even in the confessional, she feels guilty, like, now my mom has to take care of me, and that's not the way the cycle of life is supposed to happen. And, I think that's something that all of us are having to deal with now. Just, whether it's COVID, whether, the cycle of life is just not always what we think it's supposed to be. It's just life. They were there to help her and support her through the process. She asked if anyone has any questions or concerns, and Jalen basically raises his hand or whatever and says he wants to know how they're going to take turns going back and forth to chemotherapy, meaning him and Maurice, to make sure his mother was okay. And Kimmy starts by saying she doesn't want Maurice to be overwhelmed, so it'd be great if Jalen and him could switch out. And was it just me, or did Jalen's look on his face? I felt like he was concerned for his mother. And I also felt like he didn't give a fuck about whether Maurice was going to be tired or not from taking his mother back and forth to chemotherapy. Like, fuck you, nigga. Get some rest or don't get some rest, but you better make sure that you on top of it. Jalen was giving me all that in the face. And no, I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want to upset my mother. But I don't give a fuck about what's a lot for you. Hello and good morning. And Jalen, we here. All right, so it's been hard for Kimmy to tell people or talk about it, which I understand, because I remember sometimes when things were just getting too much and somebody asked me about my mother. I remember one time I just burst into tears and I said she had cancer. I thought I was prepared to control how I reacted. So I get it as much as one can. I'm not suggesting that I've been through it, but I've been through it with the person I'm close to in my life, and that's my mother. So this is actually one of those times where I think this kind of story is good for reality TV. Like sometimes people go, well, yeah, that's real life. Yeah, what Martell and Melody are doing is real life, but all of that shit don't have to be on TV. Something like breast cancer that affects so many women, especially African American women. and how stress can manifest itself in their body is and making it worse. Not that's necessarily the cause of it, but I'm saying it can make it worse. The kind of things we deal with on a regular basis. I think I I just think it's good for TV, so other people watching know they're not alone. And I think the tears, the fear, the angst of Kimmy that we see in the confessional in particular, and her family are all real. So once again, prayers up for them. Then we get to Destin, Florida. I think the little trip is cute where Melody is like, it's a 5 hour trip from Huntsville, but it's going to be 6 hours. Yes, whenever you have that many kids, it's going to be 6. They're going to have to stop, use the bathroom. And they ask her questions. She's asking them about their favorite memories. Once they get there, Mel is pissed. Mel is pissed about them not getting her food right. And let me tell you something. I completely understand. And that's always a dilemma for me. 2 things. Fucking up my food pisses me off. The second part is if I have to call you and go off on you, then I have to sit there and think to myself, how am I going to say this over the phone? Because I don't want nobody spitting in my food or fucking my food up again. Okay? Anyway, so I understood. Martell says he sees it as cute, that she knows what kind of food he likes. She ordered sausage and pepperoni pizza, and they gave her a sausage and pepperoni separate. She was like, I like lemon pepper wings. They didn't give us no buffalo wings. They gave us just some plain chicken wings. And he was like, yeah, she remembers what I like. I'm like, y'all were married for a long time, Martell. And here he goes. He bringing her crunching munch. I could tell that's what it was. She was like, but he got the wrong kind. But okay, it's the thought counts. So Mel calls out Martell about the rooming assignments. And she's just like, look, we're not going to make no big deal about you not being on the same floor as the kids. And she was like, I have paid for everything. He didn't pay for nothing. So he just needs to enjoy his free trip. I said, okay, Mel, let us know. Let us know. Martell, I just need you. And for your mama to be calling her lazy or implying that, like, somehow she took your money, it is clear to us you don't really know how to make none. And just as a man, and even for the sake of TV, you should have been on top of everything else and been like, you should have found the way to push yourself in that scene and sell her at least half or 75% of the money for that trip, because them are your kids too. Anyway, Martell, get your money right. All right, so they start playing around, kind of. Well, Martell starts playing with Melody more than Melody's playing with him. And Martell's talking about, Martell gonna be sleeping in here. And Melody, it wasn't me, even as she talks about, you know what, we're just going to keep it positive. I don't want it to go left. Martell was like, I'm not going to let it go left neither, right? That was his response. And she was like, well, a lot of times you don't understand why it goes left, and we just be on 2 different pages. And it just seemed like to me, Melody was still sitting on ready to go at it with Martell, even though she invited him. And I also think part of that is that in her mind, she could be mature enough, calm enough, reasonable enough to do this with him as their family. Because they do have 4 young kids. And, those memories matter. And they matter to them. And, a divorce is very traumatic for children. Right? Parents breaking up and what they consider normal family is very traumatic. But I think for some reason when she is back in Martell's presence, even with the best of her intentions, I think a lot of that pain and those feelings and that trauma comes back and it plays out even when she doesn't realize it. But Melody, I see how you trying, girl, and I know it can be easy. But that was all for Love Marriage Huntsville. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.